Hello, we are Experical Theatre. I'm Matt.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dan.
I'm Emma. I'm Nicole.
And we'll be looking at Paper Birds. Our mission statement is to incorporate experimental and physical theatre styles to create new and exciting pieces, combining other such themes and techniques as comedy and absurdism. There's three reasons why we chose Paper Birds. One, because it's probably completely different to the type of theatre that we're actually producing, so we wanted to broaden horizons and look at something completely new. Two, our gut instinct, well, Pollock was a big fan, so extra bonus points for us in the good books. And three, it's a chance to share one, if not my favourite theatre company, as I saw them in my time in sixth form. And if you're interested in politics or feminism within your own theatre companies, I would highly suggest looking them up. I now pass you over to Hannah, who'll give you a brief introduction.
The Paper Birds, made up of Gemma McDonald, the artistic director, Kylie Walsh, co-founder and outreach director, Becky Haynes, producer, and Shane Durant, composer. Their mission statement says that the Paper Birds strive to create and share devised work that is important, work that is culturally, socially, and politically observational and conversationally urgent. Their productions will always emerge from a female perspective, and often this female voice will prioritise stories of women. The company's work will often shift and reinvent itself to address and evoke discussion, thought and emotion when and where it is most needed, whilst retaining the company's signature visual and physical approach. Forging relationships and initiating new partnerships and collaborations, Paper Birds aim to utilise a dynamic performance vocabulary that speaks to its audience visually, physically and musically. From this, the Paper Birds hope to touch and engage their audiences, both intellectually and emotionally, and ensure that the work remains to be diverse and relevant in the theatrical climate. The Paper Birds trained at Bretton Hall, Leeds University from 2000 to 2003 and completed a Masters in Theatre Collectives from the University of Chichester in 2009. They work with an excellent team of collaborating artists, including designer Fiammetta Horvath and dramaturg Ben Franken.
Paper Birds Theatre Company gained their inspiration from an important and meaningful concept that provokes emotion. They do this by researching into the fields and subjects, by going out and getting primary research from people and their life stories, by interviewing them about how the subject has affected them and what they've been through the situation. The use of verbatim theatre style meant that the company had to take the issue seriously and sensitively. For example, the real-life stories were told and reenacted anonymously. This has been done to respect the individual or group of people who have stepped out and shared their story. The use of verbatim theatre style as inspiration for the Paper Birds Theatre Group's work adds real depth and emotion to the piece that reinforces the audience to think about the issues in which the piece is based around after they leave the show. Paper Birds' work has also inspired other people and groups to create and achieve great pieces of theatre that is emotionally moving, captivating, and that also holds important context and discussions that engages the audience. Physical Theatre 6 company group went to go and see one of the Paper Birds shows called Thirsty, which is about binge drinking and how it affects people. After the show, the company discussed it and how it could have been improved and what was most effective, such as thought-provoking physical theatre merged in with powerful spoken text alongside music, which the company made themselves. From this, the Physical Theatre 6 company have and are still using Paper Birds as an inspiration to create new theatre.
I'm going to talk to you about the Paper Birds devising process in relation to a play called 1,000 Pieces. This production was an example of verbatim theatre and is centred on one character's demise into the sex industry. The devising process was made up of 4 different stages: research, workshop, devising through improvisation, and scratch performances. I'm going to provide you with a breakdown of each stage and discuss how it relates to the play. Research. Given that verbatim theatre is theatre based on real-life experiences, research is the first and arguably most important stage in the devising process. The company became completely absorbed in their subject, drawing on different media forms such as films and documentaries. But they were also looking at charity web pages who dealt with rape cases in order to craft their production. They went further into their research by speaking directly to these charities who dealt with rape victims to confirm their data and stories they had researched. This relationship with charities continued as they invited them to scratch performances, the fourth stage in their devising process. They did this in order to gain feedback regarding the presentation of women they were portraying, indicating they were not wanting an impression, but a true-to-life representation of these women. The workshop period. During this period, workshops are used to explore the issues that research has thrown up. For example, in 1,000 Pieces, their time is dedicated to looking at the concepts of buying and selling, journeys, suitcases, and movement to depict the act of rape. Devising through improvisation, exercises were produced in aid the production of material. These exercises were based on the work they had done with the theatre company called the Song of Goat Theatre in Poland, regarding the invisible and imaginary forces. Scratch performances. These performances were set up for invited audiences. They involved performances of segments of the play with Q&A sessions where post-show discussion informs where clarity is needed or work needs to be added or removed.
Back to me again. As I said, as I've seen a couple of these shows, I thought I'd share my experience with you as I went to see Thirsty and others back home at the Ashcroft Arts Centre in Fareham. Plug. I'll go back in reverse and start with Thirsty, which was done in 2011. And as we've already mentioned, it takes real-life stories, memories, and booze-based confessions. I'm sure you could have a few of them yourself. Collect from a drunken hotline and outline questionnaire. And as we already discussed, they use verbatim text, physical theatre, and live music, which Shane produces. And it's interesting to note over time as well, they've incorporated more and more into the piece, where he was just initially used for the music, which as he plays live, he now has a few one-liners to create a bit of comic relief. And then also, I had the chance to see Others, which was produced in 2010. And this was about a 6-month exchange of letters between 3 people, a prisoner, a celebrity who happened to be Heather Mills, and an Iranian artist. And it offers a visual and political exploration of other women, which again includes movements, verbatim text, and live music, which we'll see in this clip coming up.
Once we type it into YouTube.
That's there.
Oh.
Okay, now me and Emma are going to run a workshop. Now, as we discussed earlier, Paper Birds do verbatim theatre, so they'll take an issue or something they want to look at, and then they'll speak to people who've had experience in that area, and then take exactly what they've said and use that as the script. So that's sort of...
Yeah, so can we have
when we need
volunteers?
Then I'll jump on
Alan,
because I know I'm not
Joe?
in the audience.
Other Joe?
It's written.
Go on.
Sorry, another girl would probably be preferable, Joe.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so have you got the sound?
Yeah. Basically, we've got 3 clips and we're going to play them. And the first time you've got to listen, and the second time you've got to physically characterise them. So like how you'd say it if it was you. Like if it's sad, you'd be all sad as you say it. If you think you'd say it.
Obviously, we're not expecting polished performances because we have just sprung this on you.
Okay.
But yeah, Paperbirds will literally just throw themselves into.
These are literally only 5-10 seconds long, because obviously they'd have so much longer to rehearse these and get these right. But let's say where we've taken these ideas, of where they get the ideas from, what they base their piece on, we literally just said they think drama means to them. This is a general one for you guys, so it's easy to know.
Okay. So tip number 1.
Pardon?
I feel muffled. Was it? I enjoy drama. I feel no. I don't like drama. I feel embarrassed.
Yeah.
Just to get the authenticity, they take these clips and
Yeah, so this character is embarrassed about performing.
She's saying that she feels really nervous and embarrassed. So characterise.
Do you want me to characterise that?
Oh, do we do it now?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Right, this that's the one.
Okay.
You can either do it together or individually.
Should we do it as a team?
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Teamwork. Okay, go team go.
Okay.
Let's just all do our individuals and we'll create lead.
Okay. Do it to that or just?
Do that, yeah, okay.
As if you're saying it, but obviously
You're not saying it, it's just gain an
Do you want
understanding.
movement or stills?
You act like you're saying it, so it's intelligible that you're shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, play.
I'm going to do the exact same
Try
thing
and
every
try
time.
to escape from reality. Put on any show that anyone.
It sounds more
Yeah.
confident.
It's an escape from reality to put on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you can't show this to anyone. So this character is going to be a lot more confident in the way they stand and carry themselves.
Okay.
Let's do that. That'll do. Yeah, come on, we'll go for that.
Ready? Yeah?
One's one.
How are you looking for? Yeah.
you don't actually see me that way, guys.
What was you?
It was me.
Okay, so there's one more clip.
Drama allows you to be whoever you want to be in a comfortable and forgiving environment.
Something about environment. Although I can actually hear that, but we are running out of time, so I think we're going to
Drama allows you to be.
back down.
Oh, okay.